Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about the simulation argument. Do we live in a simulation? Now, this sounds kind of crazy and science fiction at first, but when we think about it a little bit, this makes surprisingly a lot of sense when we think mathematically and statistically. So there are a few simple assumptions that we need to make in order to follow the reasoning of the simulation argument. The first one would be that out there in the vast universe, somewhere, sometime, there can develop a civilization that can have enough technological advancement that they can create computer simulations of the universe that they live in. And this would be all the way down to the subatomic particles if it needs to be. And now the second assumption would be that these civilizations, at least one of them, at least a really tiny fraction of this civilization, would want to create these simulations for whatever reason. So it isn't actually that hard to imagine both of those assumptions being true, like somewhere in this vast universe after long enough amounts of time somewhere must develop advanced civilization that can be capable of creating simulations of entire universes. And the second assumption, even if this civilization only 0.001% of the population want to create these simulations just for fun or scientific research, whatever, um, even then it turns out that the probability of us living in a simulation is bigger than the probability of us living in a real universe. Um, so the reason for this is if per the universe that we live in, there is a civilization that can produce these simulations and a small part of it too, all it takes is more than one simulation of the universe for the probability to be bigger that we live in a simulation. Because think about it, if we have the whole universe and we have one universe that's actual physical and we have two universes that are simulated, what is more likely? It is more likely that we live in the simulated universe. But 2 is just a really simple estimate. What would be more true if they do have the capacity, and even if a small part of them wants to create these simulations, it might be more like hundreds, thousands, millions, maybe billions of simulations, and then the ratio can be like 1 to million that we do not live in a simulation. That is insane. Um, so make of that what you will. This is just a logical argument. Personally, I do not think that we live in a simulation, but that's just probably my personal bias as a human being of, wanting the real world. Um, it would be in a sort of fundamental, strange way kind of disappointing, I suppose, to find out that we live in a simulation. How strange would it be if we would actually, this would be part of our reality that yes, we do live in a simulation. Um, it's difficult to tell, like, how would we even know, always having been in the simulation there would be no way to make any distinction from what the real universe might even be, but this is just a thought experiment. So I hope you got something interesting out of this video. Thank you so much for watching and take care.